Hello, my name is Michael Willoughby, and I'm here to present the Economics Primer as part of the core video series for Allen Resources. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. I majored in economics starting in 1971 at the University of Colorado. I think I took my first economics course because it satisfied my father's desire to have me do something with business. My girlfriend sort of thought it sounded cool. And my first economics professor told more jokes than any other professor. I was captivated, and I've studied economics ever since. I went on to Rutgers University and earned my master's degree in economics. I taught there for 5 years. Went to Columbia University and earned my PhD. I've actually been teaching economics for more than 20 years, the last 10 years at the University of California, San Diego. Well, economics is a social science. In fact, it's the oldest social science. Finds its roots in Scotland in the late 1700s. Most early economists were advisors to kings, helping them understand the sources of wealth in their countries. Through the 1800s, economists mostly in Europe studied the prices of land, the prices of corn. Then in the early 1900s, the Great Depression forced governments and businesses to look closely at economic activity and how it contributed to individual and social welfare. In fact, economics, in many ways, was divided into two different sciences in the 1930s. You may have heard these terms before, micro and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of how individuals and businesses make decisions. Macroeconomics is the study of national economies and aggregate economic activity. My goal in this video is not to teach you economics. Economics is a vast science. There's a collection of a number of approaches and perspectives. We deal with many, many issues. The goal of this primer is to prepare you to learn economics, to give you some of the insights and some of the background in economics that will ease the transition of new material and new knowledge so that you can comfortably put it away. But personally, I have a goal for this video that is bold, but I think very simple. I'd like to make you an economist by the end of this video. And I think that I can say that because economics is not a collection of facts. It doesn't require vast storage space to contain. Economics is a methods science. Economics is a way of thinking about the things we see every day. A good economist is a good observer. Someone who looks at things around themselves and asks the question, why do I see what I see? Economics is a science about choice, about alternatives. If I had to define economics in just one sentence, I think I would say that economics is the science of how we choose what we want when we can't have everything we want. We have to make sacrifices. And in fact, economics is really defined, and economic analysis truly pursues the identification of the alternatives that people sacrifice in order to take the things that they do. Let me just emphasize this. I've drawn it out, and let's just look at what I've told you about economics so far. The economic approach is a methods approach. What we do, and exclusively what we do in economics, is to analyze choice. We look at alternatives, A, B, etc., etc. And we ask the question, what do we really want when we can't have everything we want? And why can't we have everything we want? Because desirable things, all resources, in fact, are scarce. This scarcity creates a tension. And that tension forces individuals to make choices. The primary tool in economics is called opportunity cost. Let's look at opportunity cost for a second. Opportunity cost. This is the primary principle in economics. And we phrase it in the following way. The choice to do A is a choice not to do B. Effectively, what we do is we define prices in terms of the sacrifices that we make. If I decide to do A and give up B, it turns out that the price of A is the sacrifice of B. So what exactly does opportunity cost do? Well, opportunity cost defines prices in terms of sacrifices. What it says is that something is valuable if we give up something else. Costs and prices then provide us a measure of relative scarcity. In fact, they define scarcity. In addition, opportunity cost defines all choices in terms of trade-offs, something that you'll hear over and over again, and you'll notice when we begin to do some simple economic analysis is the word alternatives and trade-offs. Let me not overplay the word simple and not trivialize it. Good economic analysis is always simple. One of the things that I think myself and most of my colleagues have learned is that when we run into a new or very challenging economic problem, we get the best results and we cover the most ground, and we usually end up explaining a new situation when we rely on the very basic principles in our science. And nothing is more basic in economics than the idea of opportunity cost. And the choice to do A is a choice not to do B. Therefore, B truly defines the value in A. Let's just review this quickly. Costs and prices quantify relative scarcity. It's in the dollar numbers that we see in costs and prices that tell us how scarce things are. They tell us what is scarce. And then our choices are simple trade-offs between what we do and what we give up. Opportunity cost is not always easy to recognize or identify. If it were, economics wouldn't be so much fun. Economics, unlike other social sciences, starts out with some very basic definitions. You'll hear this once in a while, but economics assumes that individuals are rational. Now, there's something interesting about the idea of rationality. If we see someone doing something that doesn't make sense to us, we might say that that's irrational or abnormal. An economist would never do that. Economists assume that individuals are always rational. And an economist defines rational in a very precise way. In fact, rationality has 3 criteria. Here they are. Rational choices or rational behavior hinges on 3 conditions. One is that individuals can indeed decide. The fact that people go out every day and make decisions, make purchases, apply their time to different endeavors, illustrates that people can make decisions. Number 2, economists assume that rational choice means that if given the choice between 2 things, we'll always choose the one that has more. And third, that choices, if we're presented with more than 2, are consistent. What does this mean? This means that if I prefer A to B, and I prefer B to C, then I must prefer A to C.